Hey guys, and welcome to the super condensed summary of the juiciest details from the live Q&A from the Final Fantasy XIV Fanfest. A lot of this will be heavily paraphrased to say the least and modified, as some of the answers were extremely detailed and in-depth, spanning like 10 minutes for a single question. There are a ton of extremely valuable details that I do encourage everyone to check out if they're interested. So by no means am I a translator, and no means am I like copy pasting like anything. Like, this is definitely like an on the spot like summary. The first question was, how are the expansion titles decided, and would like to know if there were any other candidates that were proposed for expansion titles that left an impression on Yoshi P. As a heads up, this is being heavily paraphrased because the answer was like 10 minutes long, so definitely if you want the details, check it out. Just totally feel like I have to warn that to anyone that's going to try and take this as gospel. This is not. This is heavily modified. The answer from Yoshi P was roughly that the approach has changed over time, that A Realm Reborn was for basically making Eorzea Reborn, that Heaven's Ward, the expansion title, was that there was a goal of always looking into the sky and aiming for the sky, so Heaven's Ward, to aim for the heavens, was chosen. Stormblood, it was all about the themes of the core aspects being liberation and really overcoming Garlemald and that, and so they wanted a red sky for liberation, and so a storm of blood for the red sky. And Shadowbringers translates into jet black villains, and so they really want to embrace the darkness and the interplay of light and dark being really the idea of an anti-hero. Endwalker was really about like walking to the end and like the finale and like the wrapping up of like the Zodiark saga and like putting kind of like a close on it. Next question brought up that we've seen Kefka, Cloud of Darkness, and some other examples of big villains that are iconic from other games, and would we maybe see other Final Fantasy titles big villains? Like, they didn't bring up the example in the question, but I'm thinking like immediately like Sephiroth in Final Fantasy XIV. And the answer was that they haven't decided yet, but can't really be more specific because the flow is a bit different when they're deciding if they're going to do this or not. You might think that they like create a scenario or a battle around it, but often it is based upon the story and if there's a natural spot for that kind of like cameo character to come in from older Final Fantasy titles. The third question was to elaborate on the inspiration from Ramuh Savage and how that relates to past experiences of, I think they were talking about Arboreal Flats. My hearing wasn't too good on this question, but basically it was like what really inspired Ramuh Savage as far as I could tell. And the answer was that we're really drawing Ramuh from the imagination from the Warrior of Light, who would have a strong impression from fighting Ramuh on their natural like first planet, and as lightning really was the goal and lightning incarnate, so the mental image was really turned into the lightning and the Ramuh fight that we saw likewise in Shadowbringers, and we would see a lot of stuff from the battle just be lightning themed, although there was kind of like the laughing and interplay that some of it might be because the memories slightly changed just since it was so long ago. The fourth question was asking why Yoshi P essentially plays Black Mage, because we've seen him play Black Mage all over the place. The answer was ultimately playing too much Diablo and just really loving the way that the class felt black then, and then really how he liked that he could control the battlefields by doing things like waiting until enemy HP was low and then turning them into stone and then obliterating the battlefield with fire off of that. And that he also played from many other games, the caster classes, and so going to the Black Mage in Final Fantasy XIV just made the most sense, and it was just the most natural pick to the class to blast the enemies with powerful magic. The fifth question was asking, from A Realm Reborn, so 2.0, what has been the hardest and the happiest moments as Final Fantasy XIV's director? The answer was, and again, just to all of these are really heavily modified and paraphrased, but so this is going to be a digest of it, but Halcyon 2.0 was a huge thing, and that there was a massive difference in guild markets on worlds, and it was extremely significant, and he knew that the guild discrepancy had to be resolved, and if it wasn't resolved it would continue to get worse and the community would be damaged for it. Players did, however, get extremely annoyed at the measures that Yoshi P had to take on the different worlds. It was a very stressful decision to make, and he still wonders, I think that he said that he still wonders if there could have been a better way to approach the problem. The happiest memory on the other side was very easy to answer, it seemed, which was just like the first FanFest in 2014, and how there was a huge line outside, and how he went to profusely apologize to them personally, and that Yoshi P, when he stepped out, got this amazing, super positive, super supportive reaction from everyone, and so that felt really good, just being able to go out there as a game dev and know that he had like this huge positive impact and huge community of so much love behind him. The sixth question was saying that the players saw them in Savage the other day and asking Since they play such hard content, since Yoshi P plays such hard content, does he check any external sites for rotations or guides, and what, or if not, what does he really do? And the answer was that when patch releases, people from overseas come out with giant lists of what best in slot looks at, and looks at those. I feel like as soon as I get my website launched, I might be doomed. This causes anxiety. Then he states that he's played Black Mage though for a extremely long time, and so when he goes into content that he has like 3 different timing styles that he tries to fit in, and he'll try the first style. If that doesn't work, he'll go to a second style, and if that doesn't work, he'll go to a different style, and that he really just tries to go from there and tries to cram in obviously as many spells as he can with spell speed, and just uses like special procs to try and maneuver, and that sometimes he'll like go for like a stroll, but it's actually there's a very intentional reason why he strolls around. Sometimes watches other videos from guide creators and sees sometimes that people do it totally different than he does sometimes. 7th question is asking about what motivates Yoshi P, and does he have any plans to publish a book? And that the answer is that yes, right now he is like super busy, so he doesn't actually have the time, unfortunately, to write a book, although it does seem that he would like to. But there have been apparently various books published in Japanese on his work. He doesn't feel though that there is any like more motivation required than just to create games that people enjoy, and that there is a real circle of the players supporting the devs that support the players that support the devs, just that revolving circle of interaction and community. And he brought up like something like Fanfest feels very exciting and feels very good, just a positive and feedback and the love. 8th question is asking how the team decides what new glamour items to put into the game, perhaps following fashion trends. He said that he looks over the designs, but mostly this is what the design team comes up with. What they do is around 3 patches in advance, look at what the players are asking for, and look at what they can actually make in the game, and generate like a list that Yoshi P chooses from to implement next, just a few items from that list. Tries to not use things that are too fashionable, and by the time that the development cycle is done, like 6 months later, when they can actually release them because they need to actually be made in development, it will be too fashionable and severely outdated by then. I will say, do you know what wouldn't go out of fashion? Pants that make the Rothgar, you know, glutes look a little bigger. That won't go out of fashion. Please? Please? Okay, I'll continue. Sorry, I'm getting too silly in this video. The 9th and final question is asking about if the ideal game design to a developer and the ideal game design to a player is different, how Yoshi P really tries to bridge the gap between that and resolve that discrepancy. Answer was that it's hard to say in terms of design specifications what to say, because he wasn't really sure, is there possible to even exist in ideal design? When talking about game design, that is essentially a spec being a set of rules, and so you can use spec A, and if you're using spec A as your rules, you can't use spec B as a different rule set at the same time. And each dev and player has their own idea about what might be best as a preference, but even if the dev team is feeling like A is the better option, or if the better option right now may be that players feel B is the better option, there can be this discrepancy, unfortunately. And this is a big reason of why letters from the producer live are so important, to tell people why they implemented A instead of B, and to really explain that. And if people don't know necessarily, or aren't really like explained the side of the developers on why they chose something, that there might be a deterioration in the relationship between the players and the developers, which is something that they absolutely want to avoid, and make sure that everyone's as happy as they can be. Anyhow, that is all for this video. Take care and be safe.